touch on. I think it's. I think we need to just have a plan. I don't know if it's today or in the future. Start touching on this cashless society.
Okay.
Because
I mean,
it's the reality, and people need to know and understand that's what's going on. It's happening in Savannah. Just
most people ain't using cash already.
right.
So some places will give you a discount for using cash. It's just like, what's 3%?
Yeah, but it just leads into we've always had this. We didn't start out with cash like we were saying.
The barter system,
the barter system,
or the transaction system, because people would give gold away,
right?
Coins. It's
Right.
like ain't always dollars or swipe tapping, because no one swipes anymore. You tap.
Right.
I wouldn't do that in a gas station now. There's some brave people like, what do you mean tap at the gas station? No. No. Go inside and pay. Like you don't know if somebody done put one of those little scanners there and so you done tapped your card, now they got access to it, stealing your money.
Yeah. I mean, it used to be the card reader.
Mm-hmm.
So
and then you got to worry about, like, if you put it in there and enter your PIN, and it asks you to enter your PIN again, you got. I just go on and call your card and tell them, hey, can't that last transaction, it's made. Send me another card in the mail, please.
Right. Man, I need some gas. Go get some gas. Because I know because I kind of feel like as much as it is, we are getting more and more away from it. It's going to be difficult because
if there are going to be situations you still need cash.
You don't want to have cash on hand, especially like situations like tipping. But with the cashless society, but with the cashless society, you know what I'm saying? Here it comes, they're also doing think about expiration times on the dollar. So which goes into
they pull dollars out of rotation, like certain serial numbers. So once they go in the bank, if it's on that number list, they pull that bad boy out and recirculate more money. So
exactly. So
technically, they already have expiration dates. They just gonna put it on the dollar now.
Right.
But then what happens when you're the one holding the dollar that expired? And go to the bank and be like, hey, what do I do?
So maybe they replace that with a current expiration. One with the foreseeable one and the foreseeable future.
But then the question is, all right, do I have to be like an American citizen to turn my money in? Because I'm not saying aliens or whatever, but people who came here not in legal means. And, they usually use cash. So now it's just like, do I have to provide my ID for you to change my expired bill out?
Let's not get them no ideas. That's gonna work out. But no more regulation.
Right? No. Small government
regulations.
Right. It's the only thing I agree.
Enough.
It's the only thing I agree with on one political side, which I won't say which one since I am non-political, but one side says small government, I'm with it. Now they're a little stingy when it comes to they're a little stingy when it comes to some stuff, and it's just like, all right, we got to do some give and take here, but
right.
Small government is definitely a thing. I don't want the government telling me what I can and can't do. I get paid disability, so if anyone in the government is looking at this, I'm just kidding. This is a joke. I don't want you taking my VA pay away. I earned it fair and square. Right? I applied.
Absolutely. It was no scam.
Right. Because you know how that goes.
Yeah. But
he's saying down with the government. No, it's a conspiracy.
But definitely, we started out as a republic, and I'm like you said, I'm not one side or the other now. You know what I'm saying? But the republic means for the people, by the people. You know what I mean?
And now it's for the corporations, by the corporations.
Yeah, I mean, now it's just a party that, a bunch of people who, I mean, even both sides are parties of
millionaires
or get millionaires to fund their campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
And, now it's not for the people, it's for the businesses.
Right.
Or the government structure or, they fighting about giving themselves a higher raise or if they're going to stay in office. Like, y'all should be like, it's a lot of people who, borderline homeless.
Right.
Like the next check don't hit if I don't sell these plates or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody don't loan me some money, I'm gonna be homeless.
The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna fish fry. We're gonna sell some chicken.
I'm trying to tell you,
it's like
a small garage sale.
Right, and plus, anyone watching this, if you sell chicken plates for $15 and it's 2 wings, no. Like, at least give me a drink and 2 sides, corn muffins, something. Like, they don't be offering no concessions. It just be like, okay, here you go, 2 wings. It's like, what you mean? Give me a chicken breast too. Something, jeez. Like, that's what people go to Popeyes. You get the 2-piece for much cheaper. It's just like, I understand, like, y'all gotta buy it, like, not wholesale prices. They buy thousands of pieces of chicken every day. So, of course, they're gonna pay 10, 15 cents. 20 cents, 30 cents for that 2 wings while they paid $5 for 10 wings. Like, so I understand.
Well, I mean, like, everything is high right now. I don't care for businesses,
independent people, right?
Especially for independent people, unless you really know somebody who can get you something in bulk. Like, it's still like I can remember, let me say, back in 2018, 2019, I think I was in the Atlanta area. And I had a way to get some bulk chicken wings for a family, get together, chicken wings, some other food. So back then it was like $30, $40 for a big box of wings. You know what I'm saying? I think it was like 40 pounds or something like that. Now, like, if I go into that same store, prices are.
Well, one, they're gonna be like, no, you're not getting that many pieces of chicken. You need something for our other clients. Other customers want chicken too. It's the same thing with toilet paper. After that nonsense toilet paper, I was like, I'm not paying $20 for 8 rolls of toilet paper. Get out of here. No.
But with
scarcity is a thing.
Scarcity does drive up price.
Mm-hmm. Economics will always supply and demand.
Yes.
If there's a low supply and a high demand, you're gonna get a high price.
That's right. And areas are always a high demand for chicken. I don't know. There's not many cultures around the world
that don't eat chicken. They might not eat beef. They might not eat pork. They don't eat chicken.
We eat some type of bird.
Mm-hmm.
Poultry is on the menu, I promise.
As long as it's cooked all the way through. And I want to bite into the red pieces on the. Nah. I was like, all right, gotta test for salmonella now.
Hope you bless your food before you eat.
Of course. Ain't even Catholic, but I'm Lord protect me. Get splashed with water on
it. Make sure you give thanks. Giving thanks is very key to eat before you eat. Make sure you give thanks for your food.
Well, we haven't done an intro yet, so welcome to 2Pauls on a Pod. I am your host / co-host, because there are 2 of us, Paul Stevens.
And I am Paul Thompson.
So we have been talking already, and we didn't do an intro, so we'll probably leave that in, because it was a pretty interesting conversation on economics.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what's going on in Savannah?
Now we get to segment Savannah Is Changing.
Savannah is changing.
And last time we did talk about the gentrification of that's going on in certain areas, and how we see other people moving into the areas that were once predominantly Black business areas be upgraded, used for great purposes. How they also had houses that they may have bought cheaply, you know, remodeled it to the point where they could create business out of it. How they also not only had their business in there, but also with the value display of other people's products, allow other people to come in and use their space to help their business grow. So if we see their teamwork in business, and we were saying how Savannah had a crab in the basket mentality, especially with the Black community, and how these business structures that they're using can be used for us. You know, we can do the same things. We just kind of have to follow the same model. Uh, One, look at our products and services. First of all, not just look at them, but have good quality products and services.
Especially the services. Because if I go to a place and you don't look at me, you don't speak, I'm not shopping, I'm walking back out.
Right.
It's like customer service is a must. And it's just like, I ain't the only person to do that. There's plenty of people.
So, customer service, right? So, we can start there. We can start right there. So, one big thing that I do and have experienced in the Black community is, just bad customer service.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we do understand that the client's not always right. I'm just going to be honest. I've done a lot of construction work. I've actually was a telemarketer at one time. I was in the call center. I'll be the person that's sitting there trying to say something on the phone. Well, actually, back then I was on the phone calling my friends and cousin that was working in the same place. We were trying to figure out. But my intent was to call people and try to get them to talk to somebody higher than me that had more knowledge than me about the service. And I had a certain type of script that I had a script that I had to read and say, and using a professional voice, I'll say it like that. Every now and then I would do that on that particular job. So, but besides that, my customers are pretty much direct for me, and still to this day, And one thing I truly believe in is customer service. So, like, I understand that people that work in restaurants and fast foods, especially in fast foods, that the clients, I ain't saying they're always right, but they definitely may not come to you with the best attitudes.
We haven't. I don't know when this is going to air, but we got a direct reference to that. People fighting in McDonald's.
Right. Just recently here in Broadshoot. Now, I don't know, like
we don't know the whole backstory, right?
But
both individuals are wrong. As an adult, you should be able to use your words and handle disagreements.
Hey, listen.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Now, I've not de-escalated things properly. I will definitely say that. But as a professional, you should not be antagonizing someone, especially if they're already irate.
Absolutely.
Now, I guess they did try to escalate it to the manager because the manager also got involved in the altercation as well. So I can't necessarily say, but like, I guess you don't want to call the cops since, we don't have the best reputation with cops in most aggravated or elevated situations, circumstances.
True.
And so it's just like, it's very difficult to navigate what you're supposed to do in those situations. Because you could ask the person to leave, but I mean, if they had a fight, they're going to fight. So it's a kind of a catch-22.
Yeah, I mean, by the time you get to there, but, hopefully, there's a place that before it gets to the point that, a person is to that point, it's certain ways to deal with, to learn how to deal with people that are irate and being belligerent or being just wild. You know what I mean? Now, and listen, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I ain't gonna have nobody cursing in my face and stuff like that. I might do it for a while and for a moment, but that whole I'll do my best to try to walk off and do other things, try to talk to them until that they cross a certain threshold with me, and I have to go and defend myself.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I still have to conduct business, especially in my business structure where I'm basically working for myself outside of my job, especially and on my job.
Right.
Right now, I deal with I deal with people in sometimes very delicate situations, and their emotions may be getting the best of them at that moment, and I still have to keep my balance and basis in those moments. Though I may want to react late, I may want to act way totally different than what I'm acting at that moment, and then find a way to properly release that to somebody else, or preferably to God, you know what I'm saying? Or, get some stress off, go to the gym, walk around the park, do some fishing. Which is one of my favorite pastimes to go fishing. So if y'all ever want to give me something, send something to the podcast, I'm telling you right now, I like to go fishing. Salt and fresh water. I like to go fishing.
But just make sure you get, if you're going to send something, send a Walmart gift card, right? So that way you can get live bait. Because nobody want them little plastic fish, and you gotta, get the real bait.
Work some bait.
Get some real bait, get some worms, something.
Salt water, definitely. But fresh water too, definitely worms. But to get back on track, I actually did have a great experience today at a black restaurant, 520 Wings, the one right there on Bull Street and Victory.
Shout out to them, by the way.
Yeah, definitely shout out to them. I appreciate them and what they're doing. Because I got some great customer service there. Wait was probably a little longer than what was expected. I was offered a small drink at no extra cost just for the wait. Now that's customer service. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't being irate. I was just sitting there playing on my phone and doing other things. But thought about, hey, this guy's been waiting, and not just me. It was a couple of other people. It was another person that was before me also got a free drink, and I just appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't a lot, but it was just the notion of, hey, let me give something while they're waiting. It don't cost them,
5-10 cents for a cup, maybe.
Something like that, and whatever they do to make the bulk of the drink, but per cost, I'm pretty sure that didn't hurt them at all. You're not doing this for every single customer,
right?
But you're being mindful of those who have been set for a while or maybe have not gotten attention. But yet still, I went to Chili's the other day.
Oh no!
I know
where the story's going.
I sit down. I get seated by somebody, and it's 30 minutes before I can get a cup of water. You know what I mean? So I do appreciate 520 Wings and good customer service, because I'm not going to say all black businesses have bad customer service, but you know what I'm saying? There's nothing to say and look at yourself and say, we can work on that.
Right. And then the other thing, right? If you're a small business, take the time to get a consultant that teaches people how customer service is. Right? Because just because you've been working in the industry for a long time don't mean that you can't learn something new.
Right. I've been told the person that knows everything is the biggest fool out there.
That's right.
So
it's like customer service is one of those things. Like just like you said, they offered you a concession, a drink, a small drink that didn't take nothing.
Right.
It's like, now how many times have you been somewhere where they didn't do that?
A lot.
Right. Right. It's like, and then you got to take God's Chicken, Chick-fil-A into example. Like you said earlier, got to have you were a telemarketer. You called people, just upsell them. You had a script that you read.
Right.
Chick-fil-A is going to tell you, "Welcome to Chick-fil-A. How may I help you?"
Right.
At the end, they repeat your order.
Right.
And they say, "My pleasure." If you go to any Chick-fil-A, those 3 things is going to happen. So it's just really, that's why. And you hear it a lot, because it's a lot of people work for Chick-fil-A. Because I went to McDonald's a couple days ago, and the first thing I got distracted for a second. It was creepy. That was creepy. I know you saw that.
Yeah, I know.
That was creepy.
Oh,
Like, you know, like you go. I've been going to like McDonald's. I've been to Jim and Nick's. It's like people are saying my pleasure at the end is like maybe they work at Chick-fil-A or have worked at Chick-fil-A. Because once you get into a rhythm of doing something, after a while it just becomes first nature.
right.
It's like, and that's another one of those customer service things. You work somewhere where it's a great environment and you feel good, you love working there. Of course, obviously, it's going to show in your work.
Absolutely.
And some people just work jobs because it's a paycheck. Now, I'm not saying that's wrong, that's bad, but
You
it's
gotta
just
feed your family.
right. You do have to feed your family, but at the same time, find a better work environment if that's the case.
I totally agree with you. Because and then at the same time, I do believe that help a lot of people's attitudes. If you just give off something good at Chick-fil-A, I mean, I don't remember the last fight at a Chick-fil-A.
I don't think I've seen many. I don't think I've seen any.
I
There probably are some.
If anybody has ever seen a fight at a Chick-fil-A, I mean, I'm saying that, like, that there might be some fights, but send the clip in the comments, or a link to the clip in the comments below. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I just would like to see what happened.
We'll have to make that like an exit part of the next video.
Right.
It's like that'd be something to see. I just know it's gonna be black people though, and I hate that.
Yeah. So again, we are encouraging black, especially small black business owners.
Right.
Please, even if you have to, like Paul said, find a consultant, find a script for your business that you can welcome your customers in, so that we can, and I do understand that a lot of people say, well, I don't want to go there because they don't know how to treat you right. Not that the food ain't good, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
They talk to you crazy, or you wait on a long line, they're not paying you no attention. Let's do better by that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's only going to help your business grow at the end of the day.
And even if your food is just mediocre at best, which
it's only going to help your business grow.
Right. What is the thing that you see in most reviews on businesses? People was mean.
Yeah.
It took forever to get what I wanted. My order was wrong. They had an attitude. It's just like now sometimes it'd be like food's overpriced, drinks overpriced. But it's rare you see a comment where they're just like the food was nasty, but the customer service was amazing. It's like it's usually the customer service is going to overwrite that bad service, bad food.
Yeah, always. Right. So customer service. Let's talk about quality of service.
Quality of service. Okay, I like that. Because quality of service is definitely a big one too.
Yes, you can't have great customer service and no quality of service, and very low quality of service, and still be in business. But quality of service is definitely something that will take your business to the next level, especially when you want to get a certain range of money. Now, if you are a person who just likes to make just kind of make some extra money on the side, I understand. But if you're a person who's doing this as a business, make sure your quality of service is up to par. Bring a good product, bring a good service. You know what I mean?
Like, for example, shout out to Kenneth with Winging It.
Mm-hmm.
Man, when I tell you, like, customer service, amazing. I've never had bad food from him. Like, he does the food truck business well.
And like the food, listen. So one of my favorite things is the fried biscuits, deep fried biscuits, something like that. Listen, I tell anybody, I don't care what you done had from him, if you ain't tried them fried biscuits, you need to try them.
In fact, friend him on Facebook. He will tell you everywhere he gonna be for the week.
Yeah.
And also, because I can't find his business page whenever I'm trying to tag him. It's like I always have to just go straight to his personal page. So it's like at that point, just friend him.
Absolutely. But that brother, I've been actually knowing that brother for probably about going on 2 years now. Met him at a nonprofit event. He came in and fed us, and just talking to the brother. From that point forth, we exchanged numbers, and have built a good rapport with each other from that point forward, and always has had good customer service.
Right.
He gonna make you laugh a little bit and all type of stuff.
Right. Another thing he does, right, and it's like following where he goes to different places. Like there's sometimes I don't know of an event, and the only reason I find out about it is because that's where he's going to be for the week.
Right.
Which is another one of those things where it's like Black people as a community need to do that. If you're gonna guest somewhere, tag them in a post saying you're gonna be there. Because there's many a times that there have been small businesses at like little pop-up stores.
Ahead of time.
The Strawberry Festival that happened last weekend.
It was strawberry.
There was a Strawberry Festival. See, and that's the thing.
So one thing is, and I do want to say this, that yes, I am from Savannah, but I have pretty much feel like I'm coming back to Savannah. I'm learning it all over again. So like I said, I know we have I Support Savannah. You have what's going on in Savannah on Facebook group and No Cap TV. Those are not all, but those are three platforms that I know that are talking about a lot of events and different things to do around Savannah. But we should, like, there's a lot of stuff going on here, and a lot of people don't know.
Right. It's like
that's how I feel. I feel like people don't know.
No, I agree. It's like I am a business owner, and like my whole thing is I have to go to these events for branding.
Right.
Right. It's like you see Paul somewhere. It's like, oh, he's representing his business. You see me somewhere representing my business, and it's just like, okay, if I don't know of any events for the week, it's just like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna get off work and just sit and twiddle my thumbs at home. It's like, or you follow I Support Savannah because that page always got something going on every
they do
week.
A good job.
Next week's gonna be very.
They have something coming up.
I think is it Thursday?
Wednesday, sapiosexual, something like that.
Yeah, that's gonna be exciting. Now, granted, I can't remember what day it is, but I'm gonna be there.
I believe it's the 27th. I believe it's that Wednesday, whatever that Wednesday is. I believe it's on Wednesday.
But it's gonna be a great event.
Yes. Also, you have the Collage that do the Sunday suppers. I believe they're starting back up.
I didn't know that. This
week or next week. It's like poetry and art and music. So, I mean, and these Black artists, so another thing, and we'll get back to that, is, in my experience in little traveling time where Savannah, me coming back, I have seen areas that support their Black artists. There's a lot of, we have so many creative people in our community. Not just the Black community, but the Black community here in the city of Savannah.
Right.
So when I seen the Collage and what they were doing, and not just the platform that they had, but what they were doing for Black artists, I became amazed. And yet I have not made an event. Say, I will. I promise you. I'm telling you right now.
Well, he's got some tattoo art that he's done that I won't. So it's like, I'm reaching out to you for the art. Right. He puts a lot of the art scene, the Black art scene in Savannah in perspective too.
Very much so, because it's here. And then we have a lot of young Black artists that need to see things like this. Because, if they don't feel like they have a chance.
Right. They're not represented in the art space in Savannah. Why would I release my art here? Instead, I'm going to move to Atlanta because that would be the biggest Black metro area in Georgia.
Right.
It's like, or you would go, I guess not Jacksonville, I guess Miami or Houston, like everyone that's once you escape Savannah or Cheatham, because I heard that one.
Oh yeah, they Cheatham. They say slogan of Savannah is come on vacation, leave on probation. Don't play with these folks down here.
Shout out to Derek Horn and the Horn Law Firm because he came up with that slogan. He was selling those shirts, and that's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Hey, I've been hearing that. When did he start? Because I've been hearing that since I was a kid.
He trademarked the shirts. I know that.
He trademarked it, man. He stole it. He trademarked it, man. Good God. I can remember saying that. Like I said, I'll be 42 this year in August. So, You know, I can remember us saying that when I was 9, 10, 11, because we knew
Right.
that if
People come here,
they
drink and drive, and now they're
exactly
on probation.
like, especially, you know, we have one of the biggest St. Patrick's Day celebrations in the world. You know, people will come to drink, and when they leave, they'll have some type of a ticket or be paying some fines for a little while. We know that we used to have the Orange Crush here.
I think they're doing it again this year.
Yeah, I seen that. So, you know, people come from out of town for the to Tybee, and you know, as they leaving, you know, some people come from little towns real close by. They have to come back to visit every month. So, you know, to talk to somebody. So we know that this thing has been going on for a very, very long time. It's great. He trademarked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was selling shirts at the St. Patrick's Day festival that was at the Tanger Outlets.
He trademarked it.
I mean,
but
if it wasn't trademarked before, that's another one of those things. It's like you see that it's trending and you don't take advantage of it. That's on you.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. That's the nature of business. You know what I mean? I've seen a few business ideas I had about a couple different products in front of my eyes throughout my time through life.
But it's another one of those things. It's like, unless it's trademarked or registered, you know, it's like at the end of the day, there's room for two. Savannah, Pula, what area? Garden City, Fort Wentworth, Rankin. It's like there's enough room for multiple of each business in each type of business.
Oh yeah. And so read a Facebook post earlier this week, and it was talking about how, you know, even if you do the same thing, it's no sense of telling people that I do bad work, slandering my name. We're going to use the proper term, hater. Ain't no sense of being a hater. No sense of hating on my business, because it is so much money in Savannah for. I mean, like,
if people can come from out of town and start a business and flourish, why can't the people from here, born here, do the same thing and flourish?
Absolutely.
Because those people come from New York. I met someone from Detroit. I met someone from Washington. They come here, they start their business.
Montana, Ohio.
They don't know nobody when they get here.
They coming from the Midwest, y'all. They say they don't like the weather up there.
Right.
But again, that goes back to what we said yesterday. We got to start valuing what we already have, because they come here and see the value that we have and be like,
and they never
opportunity.
Right. They come here on vacation. They say, Savannah is so beautiful, I'm coming back.
And they find the issues we have and create businesses for us to spend our money with them instead of us finding solutions for the issues we have, and then us actually helping our community.
Right.
Because that's another thing. You know, we have a lot of businesses coming here that aren't, they come and sell in the community, but they're not giving back to the community.
Exactly.
And sometimes just allowing somebody to sell food in the gas station store is not enough.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you helping one person, but like, how are you actively helping the community? Because, you know, there's parks. You could easily donate some money to help upgrade a park,
right,
or a certain area, or donate money to give money for maybe a school that has a low GPA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, these businesses that are eating off of us can definitely help us.
They sure can. And the other thing is, right, they don't donate any time either. It's not always about money.
No.
The smartest person may not have all the money, but I bet you they can pass a 3rd grade math test. Why? So why can't they go back to these elementary, middle schools where the lower GPA is? Because Chatham County school system is, I don't want to be polarizing, but it's failing the community.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean,
if you don't come from the good schools, Charles Ellis for elementary, middle school, you got what, Savannah Arts Academy for high school. Like, if you don't come from those schools, you know, like, unless you play a sport or are you in the band, or because you more than likely ain't getting the GPA scholarship from here, not from Savannah Chatham County Public School System.
Right.
So it's just like, I don't believe that that's fair to this community.
Yes, and I don't know if it was here or somewhere else, but I was just reading an article that they were saying that they wanted to take more funding from the public schools and give it to the private school sector. Now, if I'm understanding correctly, the private school sector is private because they get funding from the parents on a consistent basis through tuition and so forth and so on. They also have a better quality of food. They have better gyms for those who play sports. They have better areas for libraries, to go and study in. They have more programs for them to participate in, like they might have a fencing club or something like that, but you don't see this in public school.
Right.
But so why would any city stand for, or any city council stand for, or agree to something like that if we truly for the citizens of Savannah? I mean, of that city, not saying, because I can't remember if that was Savannah or not. But, and if I can find that article again, or figure out where I got the information from, I'll definitely share it because I don't want to just be saying stuff and not being able to back it.
Yeah.
But we do know that there are situations in certain cities where they are taking funding from the public school system and putting it in different places. And this is an issue. And wonder why these students or kids that come in these places don't develop the same way as everywhere.
Right. Or not even that, but they aren't, like the curriculum isn't even up to speed with what's going on in the outside world.
Right.
It's like, there's a young person, I can't remember the name right now, but it's just like, I was teaching them how to write a check. It's just like, they were like, well, I can just swipe my card. It's like, it's not always that convenient. There are some places where you still need to write a check. A check will keep a document behind the check that shows that you wrote the check, who you wrote it to, what day, what time, because they might not cash that check for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But when you own a business, depending on the way that you set your accountant up, you need to know when and why you paid something. And the best way to do that is through a check. And so they were just like, well, I wasn't taught that in school. It's just like, I was taught how to write cursive in school. So they were like, well, we don't know how to write cursive.
Yeah, I was just about to say, are they not teaching? Haven't they stopped teaching cursive in school?
Right.
And that's how you sign your signatures.
So, and that is, in my opinion, I would call that like not keeping up with standards for a living. Now, granted, financial counseling is not a thing, like budget planning is not a thing in public school systems.
Right.
Really, the whole point, right, is not for me to teach you how to be smarter or to educate you. It's to, how can I get you to be in this place when I told you to be there, wearing what I told you to wear, and be there the whole time.
Right.
Like, that's the whole point of the public school system. Because public schools weren't really even a thing until after they started making like not construction per se, but like the Ford Motor Company decided, oh, well, we're going to have 40-hour work weeks. You're going to work 8 hours a day for 5 days a week, and you'll have the weekends off. Then they modeled the school systems around that. And it's just like, well, and that's kind of how every other job has gone too. It's rare that you'll find a job that'd be like, okay, well, you can work 10 hours a day for 4 days a week. There's some.
And then now I know somebody that works 4 days a week, 12 hours a day. I mean, 4 days on, 4 days off.
Right.
I mean,
right, I ain't gonna cry.
It's good for me.
Right, I ain't crying about it. And
don't worry about vacation time.
Right, and got built-in overtime too. Free 8 hours, man.
Shoot. I'm like, can I come in at least one day?
Right. It's like I've been
5 to 12. I don't mind.
It's it's like I was trained by the school system to be where I'm supposed to be, wearing what I'm supposed to wear. I could do that. I can work an extra day.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, 5 and 12 and 3 days off. That'd be great. That's a whole weekend trip for
Right.
most people.
Right.
And if I don't have to drive, I can. When I get off, whoever's driving can drive. I can get off, drive. We go check in.
Mm-hmm. Now, depending on how long the drive is, though.
Yeah, I take a couple days off and back in.
The other thing you won't, right? You don't want to be, because I worked in the oil field in Texas, and so it's just like I worked 7 days on, 7 days off. Now that 7 days on, drug. It felt like I was working 3 weeks straight. That 7 off, gone.
Yeah, I guess there's never enough vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Always too much work.
And then I get the black mentality. Oh well, I made my money, and I can just just not go back to work.
So how long were you at the oil fields?
I was in the oil field for 3 years.
Oh, okay, yeah, it was a good time.
Oh man,
how long is retirement for the oil fields?
So it depends. Like I worked for 2 small companies, so they didn't have like the typical pensions like the other companies do. But if you think like Chevron has one, Phillips 66, ConocoPhillips, and then there's one more, I think maybe Shell. Like their retirement pension start at 15 years most of the time. And you get your 401k match. And they give you stock in the company for working there. And you can cash out your paid time off if you don't use it. Because most oil field companies work 7 on, 7 off. So a lot of people be like, well, what am I taking days off of? I got 7 days off. I work half the year technically.
That's how I was in 2020. I started an apprenticeship to be a senior millwright for Southwire in Carrollton, Georgia. I mean, all the wire, you know what I'm saying? And that's basically what I would be doing, working half a year, you know what I'm saying, making good money. If I take 3 days off, it's like 10.
Right.
I do it the right way. So
right. or if you cool with somebody on the other shift and be like, hey, you short on your bills? And like, well, I'll just take 7 days and this whole 7 off. Now you got 3 weeks straight off.
That's crazy.
Right. However, it's some grueling work, and you cannot work as like an operations person forever. It's like a lot of people don't realize that it takes a toll on you after a while.
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
But I mean, 15 years, 20 years probably wouldn't be no sweat, right? I mean, you just go to work and do what you're told. I'm not that kind
of oil field.
I'm not that kind of person.
I don't know about that for 20 years. I thought they would at least been like 10, like Publix. I think Publix you can retire at 10. Like that's cool. Like 'cause that's a lot of hard work.
It is a lot of hard work.
Like that's all hard work. Ain't none of it easy.
It all pays well though.
I know.
And that's the thing.
But that's still the toll. I don't see. I'm gonna tell you, I used to be about just $1 back in the day. You know, I have grown. I appreciate my growth. That's not saying, you know, if you hire for anything, I'm expensive. But, you know, I do understand that, you know, just saying from back, you know, my youth, all money ain't good money.
Right. Right.
So, you know, there are certain things that, I mean, just honestly, I don't have the skill set to do. I'll turn down. Just some things I just might not want to do. I'll turn down. And then also because of the, I would say, service of the client. Client service was horrible. You know, I just chose to give them their money back or, you know, not continue on that job because, you know, and I do want to say this, that as a person, like a handyman, that works in people's houses, you know, if a person is in your house and you don't trust them, don't hire them people.
Right.
Hire somebody that you can trust so you can leave those folks to, I mean, I'm not saying don't watch your job, but give them the space to be able to do the work in the manner that they need to do it. Ask them to be open, communicate, the process with you. I mean, it's not a bother for you to watch the process, to start interjecting before the process is over.
Right.
I know some people are very, very picky, and hey, I get it. It's your money, it's your house, it's your project, but don't hire nobody that you're not going to trust, because you have people like me that I will say, hey, if you knew better than I did, you should have just. I can give you your money back. You can do your job. You know what I mean?
That might fall back into one of those customer service things.
That's what I got a good customer service at that point. But I have to be like, before I start, I'm feeling like,
I mean, knowing when to
aggravated.
Knowing when to turn down a service is good customer service, I believe. Right? Because if you can't trust me to do the job that I'm specialized in, that I'm trained for, it's like I have that problem with some people I meet for client work. It's like, if you knew how to budget, then you wouldn't have reached out to me. So I understand that. And so it's just like, at that point, okay, I will give you my recommendations. And after that, part ways.
If you're not going to trust somebody to do a service,
do it yourself.
Do not hire these people. There is YouTube University. It may not come out how you think.
Right? It might come out lopsided.
You may actually, because it's a thing when, and just like you said, just transgress more than just like, my type of contracting, dealing with houses and things like that, even in his service. If you don't trust the person that you're asking to do a service for you or provide a product for you, don't hire these people. Find you somebody that you're going to trust and know you're going to bring you some good service. It's good to have an open line of communication, but these people have lives and your work and probably somebody else's work to do too. If you are somebody who wants to be on top of them, kind of have to be, I suggest that you don't want to use nobody else, give them some more money.
Right. And then, so perfect place to transition. Also, if you work with someone who has a service or product, make sure they have the proper insurance and licensing.
Yes.
Because one, if they don't do something correctly, the great thing about an LLC is if you sue my LLC, my personal items, assets are protected from that lawsuit.
Yes.
And because I did the business as my business and not as myself as a person, I am not liable for anything that happens. That's why LLC is a limited liability company.
Absolutely. And so, opportunities are out there, especially. I know some people out there with some great quality service, good customer service. Don't have their license, don't have insurance. Now, I understand certain situations.
And some businesses don't actually need licenses.
True.
Like mine necessarily doesn't. Now, granted, I have a degree in finance because I wanted to take it to that next step. But there are a lot of people in the finance industry that do not have a degree. And I'm not saying that that's a wrong thing.
No.
But
Some of the
things
people are self-taught because they learn from their own mistakes.
Right.
This one too.
But it just shows like that you are dedicated to your craftsmanship. If you are even attempting to get that next license or certification. And then also with the insurance portion. The other thing is, right, insurance doesn't just cover the business, it covers the person that they're doing the work for. If I'm on top of your roof as a contractor, right? And I fall through the roof while I'm doing work, not properly. Like, I could be doing it properly or whatever. Yes, your homeowner's insurance will pay for me falling through the roof, but it's not going to pay for your roof because I was in the middle of working on it. So now you have to sue my business, and if I don't have insurance, you are not protected because more than likely, as a contractor, I either lease my vehicles from my personal self, so that means they're in my personal name, and my business rents it from me, or I have a holding company that holds all my assets that's completely separate, and I rent stuff from that. And there are plenty of LLC people who hold LLCs that's got 4 or 5 different LLCs. Each of their assets is somewhere else to protect it from their main business.
So I know Paul just had one of those moments where he went too far, and I didn't want to stop him because simply because we were sitting down and heard at this meeting one day, and I heard wisdom come from the mouth of all the women in there. She said, we got to start doing business we got to start handling business like business people. We got to stop thinking that these things are impossible for us to do, that it won't work. I will always say this is a system. You understand how to work it, it will work for you. So understanding the fact that you can take your personal assets and rent them out to different business structures is very important because that thing helps you out in your tax paperwork.
Yes, it does. Right? And a lot of people will think, well, because I have multiple LLCs and I'm renting stuff to my LLCs, that counts as an expense. Or right, that counts as profit for each one. And the answer is technically not, because you're only really renting it once. Now, granted, depending on how you have it, like if you have it in a holding company, that holding company makes profit, but it's an expense on the other end. So really, they balance each other out at the end of the day.
Right.
But you also have to make sure that your paperwork is correct when you do stuff like this.
Yes.
Because this could be considered tax fraud if it is done incorrectly. And so, which I forgot to do the disclaimer in the beginning, anything that we say is not necessarily tax or financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes
and
education purposes.
So do your own research.
And also reach out to a CPA, financial planner, or tax preparer. So that's a great segue for that. But, right, if you don't know how to do things, it's one of those like highly specialized things where it does not make sense to do on your own.
Right. Because, I've seen, it's basically like having what's called an umbrella corporation.
Yes.
You have one big corporation that owns, or is the mother corporation of many other corporations. And we'll go more in depth. We'll probably do a chart later on because I think this is very important for people to understand.
Either that or we'll have a CPA come as a guest and have them explain it.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So if you know any CPAs that are good, make sure you comment down in the bottom, and then we'll invite them out. Make sure they're in the Savannah greater area.
Yes. But you have one corporation, and kind of like a family tree, you have mom and dad, and then out of that, it will own other corporations that are their own different business structures, but are typically all up under the protection of the one. So the assets you have in this corporation, or if this business got sued, can only come out of that corporation and not out of every single one of them. And then the one that comes out of this one, you gotta get the picture. Each corporation, if it gets sued, they can only sue for the assets that's in that one business structure. And we'll let a CPA explain the rest. So we look forward to that. And those of y'all look forward to that. Like you said, find us a CPA,
right?
Comment, especially one in the greater Savannah area.
Which eventually will be
Bullitt County as well.
Right, we're up to probably Zoom once we get a little further in the podcast. But right now, it'd be easier for people to be in person.
Right. So get with us. We have a space, and we'll get the information to y'all from a CPA. But if you can do your research, look it up, and start before you talk to a CPA. One thing I encourage people to do is whenever you want to get involved in something, take some time, get some knowledge on it before you ask a professional. That way they just can't tell you anything, because some people are untrustworthy when it comes to large amounts of money. Just be honest. So it's best to know something before you do something, even if it's a little something.
Right? You just need to, you don't have to know everything to start a business.
So all the business advice that can work at any place,
Right.
We are coming from my hometown, Savannah, Georgia. We are going to be talking to the people about different things in Savannah, but this business advice, you can take it anywhere around the world, or education, knowledge, information. This business information can be taken and researched and seen if it could fit your particular business structure or situation, wherever you may go.
And because there's a lot of gurus on the internet that are giving, I wouldn't say false information, but it's not 100% accurate. Right, there's some actionable items most of the time, like involving infinite banking, which will have someone come on and talk about that. But it's like there are many gurus that will say, okay, well, everything that you put in your insurance plan from your business is not taxable because your insurance is an expense, and that is not true.
Right.
So tax code can and will get you, and the IRS is like a mama that you borrowed $20 from. They're gonna remind you every 10 minutes.
People want their money. Let me tell you.
And since we're after tax season, if you filed your extension and you owe money, they will charge you for every single day that you did not pay. If you file an extension, it does not extend when you owe money. And a lot of people do not understand that.
We'll let a CPA.
The CPA will explain that for you.
You want everybody to be up on their taxes. That's the last question you want to us, the IRS.
So I guess now we need to close out. So if you haven't seen the first episode, please make sure, I don't know, it depends on which order these come out in. And you'll know that they're a little funky. But if you have seen the other episode, or I guess if you haven't seen the other episode, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me personally on Facebook at Paul Thompson, and on Instagram at Trending Up TREDN_UP, all lowercase. Also the same thing on TikTok as well. And you can find us at 2Pauls in the Pod on YouTube, and we'll be bringing the other social media platforms to you soon.
And then for me personally, you can find my business page and my Instagram at Paul_the_advisor. And then also that's my website, paultheadvisor.com. And then I don't do TikTok because
I haven't been on there in a while, but I believe in financial education and stuff like that. So you know what I'm saying. I felt like that was a platform that I could release this information now.
True. I think TikTok is better for creators than it is for consumers, in my personal opinion. Most consumers,
it is better for creators.
I mean, most creators, right, are not watching other content on TikTok. I'm just saying.
That's why I haven't been on there, right? So last thing before we go, they said they're not trying to sell you something. You are the product. Stay trending up, conquer the day, and we'll see y'all next time.